Willkommen, Huanan, and welcome to Full Throttle Racing's Division 2 race. We are heading out to Belgium for round 5 of this championship. My name is Webbo. I'm here as usual to take you through tonight's racing action. Can't wait to see 22 laps of racing around Belgium. But first, of course, is the minor issue of getting through qualifying and surviving the elimination zone of Q1. We're on our way then out to the circuit. The drivers will be getting ready. And to walk you through the current standings, we have a joint top position in our standings right now. Stoffel and Brad are on 80 points each. Stoffel in the Alfa Romeo, Brad in the Ferrari, and Brad's teammate Shakes is on 60 points. Stoffel, I believe, is back with us after a week away. And the previous week, Brad and Shakes really trying to have everything their own way. It's looking a little bit dark on screen, isn't it, for the race? So I'm not sure. We've got a few drops of rain on their way as well. So I will get an update on the forecast from our drivers very shortly. Punaki is in 4th on 57 points. We have Donovan in 5th. Avalak, the league owner, in 6th place. Solsmeister in 7th. Burn It Down, J-Boy and Ron, with just Dan and Saki Benny still struggling to score any points this season so far. Ferrari are on top in the Constructors' Championship. They have 248 points from Alfa Romeo on 223. Williams are on 176. Red Bull and Mercedes in 4th and 5th places. All teams have scored points so far. Just bear with me one moment while I try and get ourselves a nice weather update. We're also going to try and get you some podium interviews at the end of tonight's action, so stick around for that. And if you spot an issue on track during the race, let me know. But also save it as a question for our podium sitters as well. So let me. I will just see if I can get an update on the weather. I also decided to take a break to sneeze down the microphone, so I managed to mute it just in time. This is, as I say, round 5 of the championship. I think that marks our halfway point. Welcome if you're joining us. If you want to hear the championship standings, just rewind a few seconds when it's convenient. I will try and join the first driver on track. That's Max Star. Unfortunately, he's not going to be setting a hot lap with a missing front wing. So that's a bit of a drama for him already. I think Martin in the lone Williams. He's not in the lone Williams. Is it Sergeant Panda who's up ahead? It is. So I think it's going to be Panda who will be the first one on the way. It looks like wet qualifying from update from Saki here. He says wet qualies 1, 2, 3 and then a dry race. So very mixed conditions for everybody. This is going to be very interesting to see how the guys make it through qualifying. Of course, often one of the best things to do here is to just fuel up, get some tyres on, and just be running at all points through qualifying in case you miss the best opportunity. But here we go then. Down into La Source for the first time goes Panda, first guy on track who survived the outlap. And then the run down towards the famous and always difficult Eau Rouge. Big lift, downshift as you would expect as the way we go through Radion and onto the Camel Straight now. In race trim, with good tyres, they'll be hoping to go up Eau Rouge flat. We get down into the braking zone for Les Combes. And then Malmedy, where the car will almost always understeer wide into that exit curve with it slightly banked. Down then to the Rivage corner, the hairpin, which again, often very difficult to find grip here. This is now known as the Jackie X corner, but for many years it's been called No Name, and we go towards Pouhon. One downshift down to 6th gear, very gentle throttle application. Do not touch that curb on the left-hand side of the apex. And then we go towards Lefania. Aircitronic is not obviously very awake to the fact that Panda is on a hot lap here. Panda runs slightly wide as a result, out of Lefania and into Stavolo 1. We'll go through to Stavolo 2. Aircitronic blocking the track. Panda won't thank him for that. Panda, of course, gets a purple sector, but there's nothing to be proud of in that sector, given Aircitronic's blocking. Panda will go through, though, and try and at least set a lap. Here we go into Blanchimont. Again, a bit of a lift through Blanchimont. Normally, that is very easy flat. And down then to the bus stop chicane, right then left, over those banked, difficult curbs, and away towards the start-finish line. Comes at you quickly. It's a 1:58.618. Let's see what Brad is up to. I would imagine Brad is going a little bit quicker than that without that blocking in the second sector. Welcome to Dominic, who joins us. Dominic, remind me, who are you supporting tonight? And that will be the first task of anyone joining us in the chat. Brad crosses the line of 55.968. I have no idea what a representative wet time is. Jacques goes 1:56.5, but partly because the track conditions are always slightly different. It's not just wet, sometimes it's wetter, sometimes it's less wet. Stoffel then, championship co-leader with Brad. He returns to us after a week away, losing his outright lead in the championship thanks to a missing race. We'll see how he gets on through here. Can he keep this alive? No, indeed he cannot. So we'll go over to Shakes, who's had the same problem as well. So it looks to be very difficult to keep the car legal through the lap. Martin is going very slowly here indeed. I don't think he's on an outlap. I think he's on an actual fast lap, or it should be, but he's clearly made enough of a mistake already to cause a problem. Let's join Avalek then in the Red Bull. Very gentle on the throttle is Avalak. It almost always is anyway, but especially so in the wet. Rain is really teaming it down. I wonder if Punaki's time will be struggle to be beaten. He's gone P1 on a 55.4. The rain appears to be getting worse, but then the dry line will start to develop the more running goes on. So Avalak heads towards the line. Botta has gone 4th, and Avalak goes 6th, right next to him, his teammate there. Dominic says he's here to support the track because that's going to be the outright winner. I would say that's probably a safe bet that it's going to claim a number of problems. I think qualifying it's going to be worse than during the race, but I am anticipating a fair degree of track limit penalties and issues for the drivers. It's definitely going to be a difficult one. Maxstar then, faring a little bit better on this lap on these tyres than he did on the outlap. He's already changed one front wing. So I make that Spa 1, drivers 0 for front wings so far. How many, I wonder, will it claim? Place your bets now. Through into Jackie X goes Maxstar. Aircitronic got a 2:29.986. Maxstar is tempted to use the esports line on the way into Buon, but declines it wisely given the wet grass effect. Ron has gone P9. Ricky Lau, P4. Hoping that our drivers will survive the load shedding dramas of the previous couple of weeks. Hopefully. Has load shedding stopped yet? Let me know if you're watching from South Africa. Has it ended? Because it is the scourge of South African league racing, I have to say. Maxstar then heading through Blanchimont now. Ron is very generous to get out of the way there. Perhaps too generous for his own good, as he's going to cool those tyres significantly. Down into the bus stop goes Maxstar. What kind of a time has he been able to set? It's a difficult chicane bus stop. You either enter with more speed and allow the car to slow for the second part, or you have a little squirt of throttle in the middle. Well, Maxstar gets a P8, a 1:57.373. Panda a P2. Very handy time up there indeed. Let's ride with J-Boy then, who is through the first sector safely anyway. Remember, it's an 18-minute session, so we've already had half of that session already, although the 18 minutes does seem to start very, very quickly for our drivers. You barely get through the championship standings before the session has begun. It seems to begin as the garage gets opened rather than as the first car leaves, so it's always a bit of a delay. You can try and hope to get 3 runs really here that are out lap, fast lap, in lap in Spa, which is why I was suggesting that drivers would probably just keep running on the intermediate tyres. Not a lot of difference between lap 1 and lap 4 on an intermediate tyre wear, but there's a lot of difference in missing the best moment on track. Shakes has retired in Raidillon. Shakes has left us. Just wanted to see what happened to Shakes. Can I see from Donovan? Maybe we can see from Donovan's car. Look to the left on the exit of Raidillon. Here's Eau Rouge. Raidillon, there he is. Shakes has clearly hit the right hand side and then gone back round again. We'll ride with J-Boy. And J-Boy ups to P1 straight away, so maybe the track is doing well. J-Boy 155.370. Maybe that dry line is starting to develop, and yeah, he won't do a lot better on the second lap after that trip through La Source. But Shakes leading the champion, third in the championship currently, and will not start higher than 15th place. I don't imagine, unless everybody else has a problem, gets himself disqualified. Looks like we might have our first elimination. Shakes might get lucky and finish in 15th, but that is very difficult. Salzmeister then, let's see if he can set a time. I do try to focus on the drivers at the foot of the field at this point. Salzmeister into the bus stop then. See what kind of time he's managed to generate out of the wet tyres. It does appear to be drying up. The rain seems to be slowing, so Salzmeister into P12. How about Martin this time round? Big welcome if you're joining us a few minutes here into Q1. Arno is supporting the Alpha Tauri boys, Ricky Lau and Funaki. Donovan has left the session, unfortunately. Shellin says Spinella for him. That's Shakes there. There is another invalidation on the way out of Blanchimont for Martin. It's not going to plan, is it, at the moment? Currently down in 14th place lies Avalac. We have already given him a little bit of time. Ricky Lau has come out on soft tyres. Well, he hasn't come out on soft tyres just yet. Hopefully we'll see if he comes out of the pits. He's certainly selected soft tyres in the pits right now. It does look like the rain, as usual here in Spa, is raining worse in some parts of the circuit, and maybe not at all in other parts of the circuit. So we'll see if anyone braves those soft tyres. Ricky is in 6th place, fairly secure at the moment, although if the session dries out completely, then everyone will want to come out for another attempt at a lap. Salzmeister crosses the line this time, goes a little bit quicker, stays P12, and I'm just trying to see who is on a lap right now. Maxstar is currently out, out on the track. DRS has been enabled. Saki Benny retires from the session without setting a time, unfortunately. Saki Benny retired in the pit lane, I think. But DRS being enabled is the best indication we can get that it is a dry track conditions. Avalak is running very gingerly around the exit of Stavolo 2. See if he can survive Blanchimont and the bus stop, register a better time than a 58.3. Full throttle, so bravely hanging on. In we go then. Try and stay off those orange sections of the curb, not because the orange section are dangerous, but because it means you risk grounding the car. And across the line for Avalak, a 55.793. That's fairly important, much quicker. But we've also got some soft runners on their outlaps. We've got Wezo, and we've also, well, we've got Ricky Lau for sure, and Ron, who've come out on their soft tyres. Let's see how the car is handling here for Ricky. Understeer central. Not a lot of grip at all for Ricky. This might be a little bit premature on the soft tyres. You don't want to scrub a set of softs for nothing. But if any tyre is going to be, any dry tyre is going to be ready to run, it will be the softs. They have the least problem with temperature generation. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. That appears to be the Mercedes driver, struggling, possibly going off track slightly. Into the pits they come. I think that must have been Salzmeister, because Wezo is on an outlap on the soft tyres. So we're getting oversteer, understeer, every kind of steer from Ricky Lau's car here. Is Ron able to get any more temperature up? Let's join him. He's slightly ahead of Ricky, looking a little bit calmer on track. This will absolutely favour drivers using a wheel rather than a controller, because the ability to partially steer and feel the limit of grip is so much better with a wheel, especially in the wet. Cowboy late to the party, late to the session. He's asking if he can log on, so he'll try and get permission to come on in. Ron then to the line. This is just his outlap, and we'll see how Ron manages to navigate the track. It looks bone dry, doesn't it, down here in La Source, which is strange because that is usually the place the water collects, worst of all. But on the far western side of the circuit, now you can see the raindrops on the camera starting to build. So up into Eau Rouge and into the heights of the track, you do get a little bit more moisture in the air. The water hangs around in the trees. It can't really clear. Down into then Les Combes, and that is a purple first sector for Ron. So from 14th position, getting the fastest first sector is important. So he needs to just hang on to the car now. That will give everybody the indication they need to head out of the pits on those soft tyres. Panda has gone fastest on intermediates. He's on a 55.2 now. But it's not about being fastest, is it? This is all about not being one of the slowest drivers. Stoffel, championship leader, retires from the session. And a massive snap from Ron. Can he save it? Well played, sir. That's a very good hold indeed. Avoiding contact, back up to speed, but it won't be a quick time. What about Ricky? We know Ricky was just behind him on track. Had a bit of a Code Brown moment there in the cockpit while Ron went spinning. Panda has retired from the session early. He knows he can't get round in time. Will the soft runners be able to complete their outlaps in time? I think they might. Only Jacques waiting to complete his outlap. Botta and Donovan gambling here on the fact that other cars will not beat them from slower positions at this stage, but many of them are on track. Martin, Ron, they're on track right now. They will cross the line. Ricky will see where he gets on the soft tyres. That's straight into provisional fastest time. Ron joins him with a 360 spin as well. Tremendous stuff from him. Let's go see what Martin is up to. Will he survive these difficult corners of Le Fagna and Stavolo? Yes. No, sorry. That was, of course, Les Combes and Malmedy. So he's still get to the difficult section. Punaki, a 47.2. Sets the fastest time. Similar time set by Wezo, just slightly slower. So the fast time's definitely coming in now, but it's all about, for me, it's all about Esitronic and Martin. Can they go any quicker than Donovan Salzmeister, Shakes, etc. Saki Benny we know will not. So will Martin, will Essitronic be able to get out of this one? Essitronic might be on his way into the pits. In fact, no, he's going round again. Essitronic, would he clear the 159 mark? I don't think he went much faster. J-Boy has gone on the fastest time of 45.6. Wow, nearly 2 seconds faster than anybody else. What about Martin? He's not been able to get a lot of clear laps in just yet. Gets the car, leans on the front of the car on the brakes, through the bus stop. One more acceleration phase to get through. Short shifts to the line. I think that was a 46 something, wasn't it? I think he will have promoted himself right up to the top of the standings. And there we have it. So J-Boy got the top time, but Martin did get through. So he will be very pleased that that timing worked out for him. Punaki is in third. Wezo, Lau, Ricky Lau, then Brad, Ron, Panda, Avalak, Stoffel, Maxstar, Jacques, Botta, Donovan all survive, but Shakes, third place in our championship. Shakes has been eliminated in Q1. Salzmeister with him. Essitronic and Saki Benny. I think we might have, we might get Cowboy into the queue into the next session, but I think he will have to not participate and be eliminated. So start 19th potentially. Brad pointing out that Essitronic was blocking him. Now, was it Brad we saw being blocked, or was it a different car being blocked by Essitronic? I think it was a Williams that was blocked by Essitronic on our screen. Was that Panda, I think? So Essitronic definitely needs some bigger mirrors. So I wonder whether our eliminated drivers from Q2 will be the same. Jacques, Botta, Donovan and Shakes. Jacques, Botta and Donovan and Maxstar, I should say. Or will there be a different order? Of course, those drivers, as well as Panda, Avalak and Stoffel, didn't set a competitive time. I have got a slightly frozen screen here. I'm hoping that's not indicative of another issue. So hopefully we're not going to have to restart qualifying. We have got a countdown now, that's a relief. So we should be heading towards Q2, which again we expect to be wet. Whether it's wet to dry, dry to wet, or just plain wet, it's very difficult to say at this stage. So countdown is on, and we're getting ready for Q2. We may end up with 9 drivers succeeding to get through, or it could be 10. I have seen both options in the past for full qualifying with a less than complete grid. But it looks like it might be. Is it dry on track at this stage? So the drivers, I would imagine, are going to come out of the garage pretty quickly. Dry tyres on the cars at the moment. No movement from the pit lane just yet. Here we go. Looks like one of the Mercedes on their way. And it's Wezo, who is going to be first on track, I think. Let's see if anybody sneaks out of the pits in front of him. But it would be wise to get on with it, because we've had forecast that it could well rain in every session today. He'll need to be careful taking that route out of the pit lane in the race. He did touch the white line on pit exit. But yes, dry conditions right now for the start of the session. Got a nice matching helmet livery here to his car for Wezo. I assume that was deliberate. So nice on the style side. If you're watching with us, do please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to like the video today. It really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you find a favorite clip, go ahead and clip it, share it with us. Drop a timestamp in the description, in the comments. That would be awesome. Share the race on socials. Get your mates involved. It's always fun when you're watching with friends, especially if you've got one of your friend groups actually driving the cars tonight. So Wezo will be the first one. Lots of cars peeling out the pits. Both of the Alfa Romeos are out there. They're leading our championship. Let's see, Wezo's first lap then. A total of 15 minutes are provided for Q2. We have 14 drivers to take to the grid. In we go to La Source. Maybe half a metre away from the ideal apex, but pretty handy. Got a car just going through Eau Rouge ahead of him. Shouldn't be a big deal. Very different journey through La Source, through Eau Rouge and Raidillon for him than in the previous session. Down into Les Camps we go again. Playing it safe at the moment, Wezo, not abusing the track edges too much, not creating new lines or trying to abuse the grass too much. Building confidence. Medium tyres on board, of course, that's important for the start tyre when you use full qualifying. Risking a little touch on the inside curb of Pouhon. Now we're feeling like the tyres are a little bit more alive, so we can start to push. Wezo is obviously showing quite a bit of confidence here at the moment. Sheldon's here cheering on the Alpha Tauri drivers of Funaki and Ricky. So a lot of love for Alpha Tauri tonight. One of the unique features of FTR is a combined Constructors' Championship across Premier and Division 2, which I think is awesome. And we get down to braking zone of the bus stop, having to make a big adjustment there. Got perhaps a little bit too slow through the middle part of the bus stop, but it's all about setting that banker time of 45.5 is Wezo's first time out there. Nice to get that on the board. We've got Stoffel going a 45.0, so half a second quicker at this stage. I think Ron might be about to cross the line. Just gathering the car together after the first part of the bus stop. Over the line then, 45.9, perhaps losing some time in the bus stop. J-Boy 44.7, but Funaki 44.70 is the fastest one so far. Sergeant Panda on the lap at the moment. Let's see what perhaps Jacques Slater goes on a P5, and I think we've got Brad on an out lap at the moment, so not worth watching him just yet. So see what Sergeant Panda is up to then, going through Pouhon. And Shakes watching along in the live chat is cheering on Brad as usual, but Shakes will be missing being part of the action, trying to pick up any last little tips he can from other drivers, I'm sure. So Sergeant Panda just Blanchimont and the bus stop left into the bus stop we go. Slightly wide on the second part. Delay with the throttle. A 45.4 for Sergeant Panda on medium tyres is very handy. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that one. Let's see what Brad is doing. Approaching Pouhon as Avalat goes fastest on medium tyres, faster than Funaki on that particular journey through. Le Fagna then for Brad. looking confident. He's on the soft tyres, so not the ideal run for the race tyre, but without a rear gunner of his teammate with him that's usually there, maybe he'd far rather be able to get the jump on everybody than be vulnerable in the first stint. So waiting for the braking zone. Pretty late, I'd say about 75 metres there for Brad. Perfect through the bus stop. Little short shift away to the line. 44 flat is a very quick time from Brad. Congratulations on that one. That's going to take some beating so far tonight. So we'll see what Ricky is doing, given that there's a lot of AlphaTauri fans with us. It's all about survival, but a 44 flat, I would have thought Brad can rest easy now. I was half expecting him to lift at the end of the final little straight there, just to set a time but not fix himself on the soft tyres, but he did not do that. So down then into the bus stop with 15 minutes on the session time and the long lap around Spa. It is quite possible drivers will only fit in 2 quick runs. Ricky Lau 45.9 on the first lap on his mediums, goes wide into La Source on his second attempt. That could really scrub his lap. He's obviously used plenty of ERS in his first attempt, so I'm not sure it's quite going to plan. Ricky almost losing the car there at the rear through Eau Rouge, so far from ideal. Sergeant Panda just cruising on an in-lap. Have we got a driver on an actual fast lap here? I'm not sure. Jack Slater went round again and has only managed a 44.726, so didn't manage to beat that on his second lap, which is interesting. Why not just come in and save a lap on the tyres? The tyre wear is fairly significant on a long track with lots of turning activity. I don't think Ricky Lau's tyre usage data there is strictly correct. Definitely taking it easy here on his way through. Is Martin actually on an attack lap, or are we headed to the pits on the soft tyres? We're headed to the pits. We've got some outlaps though from Wezo, Ron and Botta. Tunable says, why is Brad in Division 2? He's Premiership material. Well, I'm sure if he wins the championship he'll be knocking on the door of the Premiership, but maybe it's a decision around the assists being used. I must admit I don't know. Maybe Shellin can help us. Why is Brad in Division 2? Is that say down to assists? Well, that's one way to speed up your exit from the session. Ricky Lau from P11, a guaranteed elimination there from him, making a very late decision to pit. Didn't get the car under control, and that is his day done for qualifying. Buntius says a mixed division. I presume you mean on assists there, so hopefully Shellin will let me know what assists Brad is running. Botta is trying to get the car into Les Combes, but it doesn't really want to respond at the moment. Through the Malmedy right-hander, down into the wide open hairpin of Rivage, sometimes called Beau Rivage. This is Jackie X, previously no name, and into Pouon then for Botta. Stay away from that curb, Botta. Wow, that's risky. It's got a horrible shape to it, cross-section shape to it, that curb, but he survived. Shellin says Brad is on the same assists as Premier Division, so I would have thought promotion is begging, unless maybe Premier Division's just incredible. Maybe they're just aliens in the Premier Division, and the times are much better. But through Blanchimont, a little bit of disagreement going on in the driver chat room as well, over the blocking or not blocking from Essitronic, depending on your view. have a snap poll here. Bottas P3 44.694. You can have a snap poll. Would you side with the driver who is complaining about Essitronic blocking, or with Essitronic who is saying you should create your own gap? We were both on hot laps. Funaki says Sheldon is my brother. Excellent. Well, I've known brothers who are more like frenemies than friends. My sons would probably be chief among them, who would be here to cheer on anyone but their brother, and giving away all the family secrets at the same time. I've known that happen in live chat, but yeah, good to see Funaki having some family support there. Stoffel looking for a bit better than a 45.0. He's gone for soft tyres now. Everyone's gone for soft tyres apart from Avalak, who set his time on mediums, or at least everyone on out laps or current laps are on soft. Stoffel 7/10 faster than he's been before through here. Brad retires from the session feeling pretty safe, as Wezo betters his time to 43, the first in the 43s. Wezo, a nice time there. So away to the line for Stoffel, and it's P3, making it Mercedes, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo at the top, but it's all about whether the drivers at the bottom of the order will get through. Maxstar has gone for the soft tyres, as you would well expect, given his position on the tower. And unfortunately there's an invalidation. He'll be able to recover a little bit of ERS for a final run. Ron starts his next lap, what will be his final lap, because the checkered flag will definitely fall before he's ready. Too much steering angle in the last source corner leaves him just to unwind the steering slightly mid-corner. Going for a confident entry, but perhaps slightly too confident through Eau Rouge. I apologise, I should not be talking through Eau Rouge, because you want to hear the engine note, don't you? Down then the Kemmel Straight we go, where hopefully we will see some action through the race, especially lap 1 and 2, where we get that nice nice slipstream action. Oh, Ron has invalidated his lap, absolute millimetres on the exit of Malmedy. And again, as I say, I don't think he's going to be able to get through. What about Sergeant Panda, though? He is 444 up. Well, that's just rubbish. Let's wait for his actual first sector time, shall we? Ricky Lau and Maxstar have both retired. Donovan is waiting for an invite to the lobby. Cowboy, we don't know if he will be planning to commentate an alternate stream for anybody, or whether he will actually be taking part in the race. Time will tell. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to take part in the race from the menu once he gets there. Sergeant Panda into Jackie X, runs wide once again. How many times are we going to see this tonight? Drivers running wide on corner exit. That will be it, and I don't think that the slower drivers are going to be able to do anything about the faster ones. Anyone on a fast lap now will presumably bail out of it, and hopefully we'll get some drivers deciding to retire from their position, and we can hurry on into Q3. Brunaki says his brother Sheldon must also do commentary. Is he spectating the session officially, or is he just in the live chat? Because he'll have a 20-second delay. 20 seconds, maybe 6 or 7 seconds, I think it is, the overall delay on the screen. Into the pits comes the Red Bull driver. That's Bottas. So will we see everybody have to do their in-laps? Looks like Sergeant Panda on his way in. Got several drivers who have crossed the checkered flag. There we go. Thank you everybody for retiring early. Here we go then. That will be the top 10 who will challenge for pole. It's Wezo on top overall from Brad and Stoffel, Botta and Avalak, Punaki, Jacques Slater, J-Boy, Martin and Sergeant Panda. J-Boy and Avalak will start on medium tyres however they qualify. And unfortunately, just little minute adjustments from Ron. Not so minute an adjustment from Ricky. Maxstar and Donovan would have resulted in a better time, but unfortunately that is it. No more qualifying action for those 4 drivers, but we'll have a top 10 shootout in Q3 soon to come. 12 minutes officially, but that will disappear pretty quickly on us, won't it? We've got Bunties in the live chat. You have to tell me which driver you are, because I'm not able to follow exactly who you are and why you're having banter with Punaki at the moment. Let's get our lap data enabled. See which of our 10 drivers will start the session first. We've got somebody on their way out the pits already. I think it's one of the Williams drivers. Is that Martin, who is first on out? Donovan has joined, thankfully. So we will see Donovan in the race. Should get 18 or 19 drivers at the start of this one. The sky looking dark, so I wonder if we are expecting plenty of moisture in the air. Maybe some more rain to come in this session. We are at the moment forecast a dry race. Bunty is wanting some Afrikaans commentary. I'm afraid that is not something I can be employed for, but good luck to you all if you want to go ahead and do it. Unfortunately, as you can probably tell, I am not native South African, but here we go. Winding up, getting the cars organised, getting them ready. Yeah, the track is looking very overcast and grey, isn't it? So hopefully drivers will get at least a lap of dry running in. Get some reference points here. Reminder, after all this qualifying action, we will then have a 50% race to come, so lots and lots of racing for you tonight. Martin gearing up then for his first attempt at Q3. Wow, that's a very wide line. I think that was perhaps over the top from Martin. And here we go then. Let's start the qualifying lap with Martin on board. Pretty bad understeer into La Source. It's going to hurt him. It's going to hurt him all the way up Eau Rouge. So needs to bank this lap and then get a hurry on round to the pits. No, he's actually bailed on the lap overall. Punaki likewise has invalidated this one. So we'll join Brad, shall we? Who presumably is going a bit better. This could be pole, but Wezo pushed Brad very close indeed. Some lens flare shining off the camera. Wow, Brad very close. I'm sure that other drivers have invalidated going that close to the line, but just lifted in time, I think, on the way out of Malmedy. So this is not going to be the fastest Brad can go, that is for sure. Here we go then to Leifania on board Brad. He'll be fighting at the front here on his own in the Ferrari, with Shakes just a spectator at this stage. Full throttle now, all the way to the bus stop. I would assume Blanchimont will be easy flat in these dry conditions. Just stay off the curbs. Very late braking. Someone's wiped out the 50-meter mark, which is not helpful. First Stoffel, then Avalac go fastest. What about Brad? He's only a 43.8, faster than he went in Q2, with the track conditions in better grip. Martin, P5, 206, but we saw him going pretty slowly on that lap. I imagine he's heading round for a proper attack lap here. Doesn't matter what you do with these tyres, you can go scrub them, you can run them the whole session if you want to, because they will be thrown in the bin once they're done. Botta to the line then, next car over. Botta manages a P5 only on a 45.4, so I was expecting a bit more that time, in fact, out of Botta. Panda's second sector, a 15.6. Looks like Punaki went round again, and just behind him on the track, several drivers on their in-laps. Down into the bus stop we go. Gold flashes on the head, on the helmet here for Panda, and it's P5, 44.365 for him. Was that Punaki was next, or was it J-Boy? No, I think that's Stoffel on his way into the pits. So we'll ride with Punaki. Shellin says 143.1 for pole with Brad. Punaki P6. Brad, he certainly wasn't as quick as he could be through a couple of corners on his lap, was he? So we shall see. Currently it's Stoffel, Avaloc, Brad, Wezo, Panda, Punaki, Botta. Oh, in goes Martin into the middle of that group, a 43.771. So he promotes himself up to a provisional second place. Natasha is cheering on Punaki. Lots of Punaki love out there, which is great to see. Some of that he gets just by driving the AlphaTauri car, I think, from his teammates across division. Nobody else actually on a lap at the moment. Sergeant Panda is going slowly. We've got some pit stops drivers. J-Boy, Jacques have yet to set a time. Lots of pressure on their final run. Avalac, Brad and Wezo waiting for the perfect moment. Everybody else had to run a second lap and are on their way in now for a quick change. Go then, pit lane. Now the pit lane is definitely something to be very, very cautious of. Could well be the most narrow pit lane in the game, particularly pit entry at speed. It's tempting for the drivers to get it to attempt to maximize that in-lap time, but it is absolutely treacherous on the way, and especially if it's wet. Wet entry to that pit lane. Zero grip on almost like a concrete surface. Really difficult for the drivers. Avalac has started his outlap here. Will be the first outlap, first hot lap for the last group. As I said before, if between sessions you want to hear the championship standings, just rewind back to the start of the footage tonight, and you're very welcome. If you're only just joining us, please go ahead and like the video as well, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss us next time and join late. Maybe you're just being fashionably late. Brad is on his outlap as well. Some third of a lap or so behind Avalac. So we'll perhaps get to see Avalac's first sector and how well that compares. He's currently got a 43.7, faster than he managed in Q2. So it looks like Buntiers is here for Stoffel. Jacques has been disqualified for parking up in a dangerous location. Jacques looks like on the exit of La Source, presumably trying to get out of people's way or find some time. Unfortunately for Jacques, that is a DSQ. That puts him down into P10, guaranteed. Avalak then looking for the best exit possible out of the final corner, although sometimes drivers can overdo it and get themselves invalidated. Down into La Source we go, slightly shy of the apex, but you can be quick, you can carry a little bit more speed if you don't get hooked up into the apex gully. Full throttle, 8th gear before we head up the hill through Eau Rouge. Hold your breath, can you make it? Yes, this time you can, safely. Breathe again, blink again, and down the Kemmel Straight. Make any adjustments you need to do on the steering wheel. Check out your sector just as you hit the braking zone. He's up on his previous sector. What about Brad? He is only just starting his lap, so he'd obviously gapped quite a lot. Taken that final sector pretty easily on the soft tyres. I'll rejoin Avalak shortly. Very under control from Brad through sector 1, through this flat out sector. Crosses the line, and he's only a small way up, but I think his mistake the previous lap was through the 2nd or 3rd sector, so that will be where the difference will be made today. Avalak crosses the timing beam nearly 6/10 faster, and purple in the middle sector. Maybe he's got a higher downforce setting. I don't want to jinx anything, but this is looking good for Avalak. He's looking very, very hot on the corners. Let's just go back to Avalak to see the end of his lap. He's nearly 6/10 faster than he's been before. He could get provisional pole or a front row here. There's a nice gap between Stoffel and Martin to slot into. Avalak crosses the line, provisional pole, 43.0. Back to Brad we go as he comes out of Stavolo. Stoffel, what's he on? He's only just starting his lap, so it's Brad this time. Then we'll go to Stoffel and Martin, but Brad looking like he could possibly challenge Avalak and Stoffel at the front. What can he do through the bus stop? All the pressure, lots of fine adjustments on the steering going into the bus stop. Looking quick on the exit, but what is it going to come through as a front row provisionally? P2 for Brad, a 43.1, exactly the time that Shellin said he would do, but he didn't count for Avalak going up there into P1 on a 43.0. Will we possibly see a driver in the 42s? It won't be Stoffel because that's an invalidation, sadly. So let's ride with Martin. Let's see what J-Boy's up to as well shortly. Martin's going to cross the line 1.55 faster. Let's have a quick look at J-Boy. He's invalidated. J-Boy invalidates his lap. So it's all on Martin. I think that Wezo is slower as well. Checkered flag has fallen. This is it. This is the last fast lap I think we're going to see. What can Martin produce? He's got an Alfa Romeo getting out of the way nicely. Into Pouhon we go. That looks like a nice quick line through there. No disruption, no corrections, thanks to any curb usage. Panda retires out of the session. That takes another car out of contention. Let's see, Martin, he was 1/10 up in this one. He's 5/10 up, and another purple sector at the end of the session when the track is at its best. Martin absolutely on it. Can he ruin out of Avalak's pole position attempt here? Can he get himself into the 1 minute 42s? It's going to be so tight. Down we go then into the bus stop. Nice first apex, perfect second apex. Away then, little short shift using 3rd gear fairly well. Up to P2 it was a 43.176, and Brad gets a new pole, a 42.7 on his 2nd lap on the soft tyres. Brad steals it from Avalak and Martin right at the death. What a finish from Brad. Wezo moved up 1 place as we finished up there as well, and as Shellin says, 142.7 for Brad. That was well timed, Shellin, well timed. And as he calls, Brad gets the 4th pole position on a trot, but it was very close at the end there. He got it by a 1/4 of a second, but probably only about a 1/4 of a second before the end of the session. Brad, P1, yet again for Brad in the Ferrari. Then Avalak in the Red Bull next to him, and Martin in the Williams. They'll be hot down the Kemmel Straight chasing Brad. Brad won't have it all his own way. Stoffel, Wezo, Punaki, Botta, Panda, J-Boy and Jacques, who was disqualified. J-Boy didn't get a time set in the end, so we will see what the next session, the race, holds for us. But fantastic pace from the guys there. Really entertaining stuff. Let's see if Cowboy can look into his Alpine that he's supposed to be in, or if he will be set with one of the other cars. McLaren, I think, only had one representative tonight. Great to see all the comments coming in. While you're there, make sure you give me a podium prediction. You get lots of kudos points if you get your podium completely correct. Here's the countdown. Mostly Cowboy wanting to get his setup put on. And good congratulations there for Brad coming in from Tunable. Yeah, good stuff. Tunable liked it so much he left the comment twice, which is great. Down we go then to the track for the formation lap. 22 laps, long laps though of Spa-Francorchamps for you. The long laps mean that picking your correct pit stop lap is absolutely essential. Be expecting lap 7, lap 8 range for the soft runners to come in, and then likewise with about 7 or 8 laps to go for the medium starters. Here we go then. We are under starters orders. Green light for our formation lap. Brad getting away from the grid quickly. The McLaren though, further back, looking a little bit slow. That's Jacques, is it? What's Jacques up to? That looks like a wheel disconnection possibly, or he's dropped his control. He's been disqualified from the session and put there onto his position. Amazon predicting soft hard or soft medium. I think this is going to be a one-stopper. Let me know if you disagree in the live chat. I'd love to hear your perspective. And let's have those podium predictions as well. So, a big mix of tyres. Hard tyres on the cars of Ron and Air Citronic. Mediums on Saki Benny, Ricky Lau and Max Start. Outside of the top 10. Inside the top 10, Avalac, Sergeant Panda and J-Boy have gone for those tyres. And then soft tyres, obviously, for everybody else, including Cowboy from the very back of the grid. Somewhat of a surprise to me to see Cowboy choosing those. But as Bunyi says, yeah, cold tyres it will be for Jacques. I wonder if Jacques went off to get a quick break and came back and found the formation lap had started. That's why the countdown timer ran so long. Couldn't possibly blame anybody, but it happens. It happens. Or people have to suddenly go and get their dinner, get their dinner down them. So Brad at the front, Avalac alongside. Brad will be pleased to see somebody like Avalac there alongside him. Not because Avalac's slow, but because Avalac will be someone that is quite trustable off the line, not to jump into everybody. Tunable says Avalac, Brad and Stoffel on the podium, but not sure what order. How high up the order is Shake's going to make it from 15th? I think he might be still within a shout of a podium, all things going well. But I think Wezo might feature on the podium today. It's hard to pick someone other than Brad, isn't it? So I think Shakes on the soft tyre will make up places at the start here. I'm going to go brave, and I'm going to go Brad, Wezo, Shakes for the podium today. No shade on anybody anybody else on the run. I just like making brave predictions, I think. Yeah, Jacques saying he's having serious issues with his wheel. Hopefully he's got it sorted now. I've seen all sorts of wheel issues and pedal breakages this last week in league racing. I hope it's not some sort of epidemic. Just waiting for the last cars to get together on the grid for us. And we'll be underway for 23 laps of Spa-Francorchamps here in round 5 of the FTR Division 2. And the lights are on. We're almost ready to go. And it's away they go from the line. It's Avalak with a good start, but it looks like Brad holding the line on the inside. Williams, Mercedes and Red Bull try to go 3 wide through La Source. It is the Wezo Mercedes that profits. We've got some action further back. Avalak managed to survive. I see Jacques was peeling off in the order there from the back of the grid. Stoffel trying to follow Punaki, and Avalak up Eau Rouge had to lift. Punaki looking very, very racy here on the back of Avalak, who is trying to defend the position. Unfortunately, that was Jacques that missed out. Very sad to see Jacques with his problem, but a virtual safety car has been called at this early stage. Is that because Jacques has stopped on the racing line, perhaps? Big drama, like I say, from the off. All manner of problems. Do let me know if you saw something in the middle of that I didn't comment on. The VSC has been called, so let's get a quick look. Who made up places? Wezo up 3, Ricky Lau up 5 positions, 4 each for Shakes and Saki Benny. Shakes already knocking on the door of the top 10. Down 4 went Panda, down 11 went Botta. Strangely enough to see Botta down there, so I did see some action happening in the background of the first corner. That could have been what affected him. Wezo getting past lots of drivers. Punaki dropping back slightly there from Stoffel. And we go green. Ricky right behind his teammate Punaki. Ricky's on the medium tyres, so he's in a great position, as is Avalak. But Avalak has got 2 soft runners directly behind him. Brad starts lap 2, nearly a second ahead of Wezo, and is gunning it away from the Mercedes to try and break the DRS gap that Wezo needs to stay on terms. Wezo catching back though, will ride with Stoffel through Eau Rouge. Should get a tremendous tow from Avalak. Avalak will defend to the inside. Will he? Stoffel goes to the inside actually, and his tow will run out, but he'll use a bit of ERS to try and draw alongside into Les Combes. They go side by side action. Avalak holds on bravely around the outside of the first part of Les Combes, knowing that the next time he'll get the inside line. Punaki just sitting, watching and waiting behind, but Stoffel leading the championship with Brad needs to get a hurry on here. Doesn't want Brad to get too far away from him. Ricky with good places up, and Alejandra is cheering him on, so he'll be I wonder if he knows he's got fans watching. So Martin 6/10 behind Wezo, who is now 1.3 behind Brad. All the work being done there by Brad. Shakes though, Shakes is 2/10 behind J-Boy. Shakes on the soft tyres, needs to dispatch these drivers really quickly to maximise the use of the soft tyre as quickly as possible, but it's difficult. There aren't that many overtaking opportunities without the DRS. Punaki looks like he's got a good run. Shakes uses ERS, I'm sure, to get past J-Boy there, down into the bus stop, and he's already ahead. Punaki doesn't go for a move. Into the pits though comes Ricky Lau. Very early doors for this pit stop from Rick. Sorry, in comes Punaki. I was going to say, for Ricky on mediums that would have been a nightmare, but he's going to be holding off Shakes very soon. Stoffel less than a second here behind Avalak, as is Martin on Wezo. Try and keep an eye on 2 or 3 battles at once, but that's impossible, frankly. So it looks like Martin unable to gain any here on this lap 3. DRS in effect. Stoffel is just going to breeze on past Avalak. Nothing Avalak can do about that one. He tries to hang on around the outside, but with the overspeed, thanks to the DRS, it was too easy really for Stoffel. He did the work to earn the DRS, don't get me wrong, but the actual pass itself, not too difficult. Jacques said, yeah, his wheel didn't improve, unfortunately. So that caused the first retirement and, of course, the VSC. Punaki from the pits rejoins in 17th place, and he has put on medium tyres. I'm surprised to see him not go for the softs. And now Martin is drawing up to the back of Wezo. We saw a purple middle sector for Martin. That would suggest better downforce setup. And Martin then getting a good tow here on the back of Wezo, who's moving around a little bit on the straight. There's no DRS through Blanchimont and on the approach to the bus stop, but you can get a terrific tow. Down they go then. Martin's plan here will just be stay within DRS range on the way out of La Source and hope that Wezo doesn't decide to give him that DRS advantage. There was the detection line on the way down into the braking zone of La Source, and away they go then down the hill towards the dip at the bottom of Eau Rouge. Donovan gets past Max Start here into the hairpin of La Source. I'll go back up and see Martin and Wezo, because I think this could be a move for second place. Wezo hasn't quite got the pace to compete with Brad at this stage, and Martin, he'll only be able to do this on the brakes, if at all. He just couldn't beat him down the straight, and I think that's the downforce difference. Avalac on Stoffel gets the job done, retakes that 4th place, and we have no penalties on the board so far on lap 4 of 22. Brilliant driving from everybody so far. We've got a stopped Haas. It's Max Star dropping down the order. He's able to get back up and running. Is he, or is he not? It looks to be he's stopped the car. Overheated tyres, trying to get back on into contention. Will Essitronic come upon him? He does, but thankfully ghosting is on. Similar job for Ron, who's down in the pits, but thankfully not triggering any form of caution for the drivers there. But yeah, big challenge now for Maxstar to come back up the order after that little issue that he's suffered. Martin half a second behind Wezo still. Stoffel 0.6 of a second behind Avalac. Got some tight battles. What about Donovan on Ricky Lau? I'm sure people won't thank me for following a battle that might result in Ricky Lau losing a place. Into the bus stop. Ricky gives the inside up. That becomes the outside for the next corner. Ricky is beaten by the DRS in the short run down the start-finish straight. Made famous by the Lewis Hamilton Felipe Massa pass-repass situation down there. I don't think Martin has got the overspeed down the main Kemmel straight here. Stoffel has got it on Avalac, and they trade places once again. Avalac demoted down to 5th as Stoffel gets the 4th place. Can he gap Avalac this time out? No. Avalac on the medium tyres, unable to get the traction out of the corners required, and he's got now Shakes right behind him. So Avalac in a difficult situation, but he's got the best tyres of these guys, so he'll be taking the pain now and getting the reward later. Lap 5 sees Brad and Wezo at the top of the order, but some 2.7 seconds apart. Saki Benny has retired. That's both Haas drivers with problems already. Saki Benny retiring on the way into Jackie Ix, and that looks like, unfortunately, our first safety car of the evening. That is now a full safety car. Lap 4 is early for the softs, but I don't think people will pass up this opportunity to take a cheap pit stop if they're on soft tyres. Drive-through penalty for Punaki for speeding under the safety car. That will not be popular in our live chat with Punaki. Having so many fans joining us. Let's see what Brad and Wezo do. Brad's in the pits. Wezo likewise. Martin right behind Wezo, and Stoffel too. Avalac is going to go on past. Wow. Shakes almost took his front left corner off the car on that difficult pit entry, and there is exactly what I was talking about earlier from Donovan, who totals his front wing. Salzmeister runs over the front wing, but hopefully will avoid a puncture causing problem. Now he's on auto drive. Donovan has retired as well, has been disqualified. Wow. Okay, so 2 DNFs and a DSQ. Why would Donovan be disqualified there? I don't think he could have controlled the car, could he? Very strange, but everybody in the pits that started on the soft tyres. That leaves Avalak right out there in front. He's got J-Boy behind him. Brad, having now pitted, is in P3, but we'll try and run these medium tyres a long distance. It's on the bubble, isn't it, for the medium tyres, especially if we've got a lap or two under the safety car. So everyone reset apart from the people who started on mediums. Let's take a look at the position changes. J-Boy, remember, he hasn't pitted up there in the order. Got penalties on the board, 3 seconds each for Martin and Stoffel. Interesting to see those guys picking up penalties. They're front runners. Donovan is unhappy, and Bunyi says blocking pit entry, but hadn't he managed to stop and restart before the DSQ? That was a bit of a late in the day adjustment from the game. I think Donovan can rightly feel hard done by that DSQ. Very unfortunate. Again, sort of, I don't like to make any apologies for the game makers, as they really could do better than this. I think, I'm sure many of you will agree. Apologies if you work for Codemasters, but we have been fighting these issues for 3 or 4 iterations of the same game system, which hasn't drastically changed, frankly. So Brad in third after a convincing pole position and leading the race up until this point. You kind of want to be looking at Brad, Wezo, Martin, Stoffel as your real order before the pit stops. But of course Avalak, J-Boy, Panda, Maxstar will have the opportunity, if another safety car arises, to benefit from a similar situation, but they have given up that chance here. Their only option was to pit now for hards, and that's not going to be an ideal tyre to run. Ricky Lau and Solsmeister have gone for the hard tyres. Look to those guys to be potentially slow to the end. Esitronic has gone for a double pit stop, I think, and is going to put mediums on again, having run the softs for the minimum time possible. There he goes, putting on mediums on for to the end of the race. And with 15 laps to go, I think mediums should just about make it. I'm sure they'll have to have a little bit of tyre saving nonetheless. So medium tyres getting a little bit of abuse here from Brad just to get them warmed up. Some cars getting very close to each other, which you don't like to see on the safety car right up until the restart, and frankly I'd rather not see it on the restart itself, because it causes so many accidents. Ron at the back of the grid will join the tail of the crocodile here, so the safety car, I'm sure, will come in at the end of this lap. Well, I've said that now, haven't I? Could be me being overly optimistic. Who's your standout in the first stint of the race so far? I'd have to say Wezo was impressive. A quick look at the position change. Shakes obviously has been quick. Many races. Didn't have Hungary his own way in the previous race, but I still hold out for a possibility here of a Brad Wezo Shakes podium. I'm going to stick with it. A reminder, Tunable said Avalak, Brad and Stoffel, but I think it's going to be difficult for Avalak, J-Boy, Panda and Maxstar to get back on terms with this one, because of the less desirable tyre situation, and probably, in all likelihood, they'll be taking a full-length pit stop. Stoffel has the fastest lap, 46.4, but I do expect that to drop down quickly. We've just been told that the safety car will be on its way in, which is great. Martin and Stoffel's bid for the podium here definitely affected at this stage by having those penalties. 3 seconds so far. I hope you're enjoying the race with us tonight. I certainly am. Spa has a way of producing great races. It's just a track you can fight on. So, Avalak with the restart. J-Boy with him. He's got J-Boy between himself and Brad. J-Boy on the same length running tyres. And Avalak runs on his way out of the final corner. And nice and tidy between the drivers here. Very patient restart. No one getting too greedy. Punaki makes a move here on the outside. He's on the outside of Salzmeister. Punaki gets by. Soft tyres against hard tyres. Straight out of the blocks. And Punaki, who is committed to another pit stop. But good restart from Punaki. Making up a place already. Up at the front now, it's all kicking off. As J-Boy has a good run here on Avalak. Brad, similarly, I think Brad probably had the speed to have a go there, but shied away from it. Stoffel couldn't make moves on Martin, and Salzmeister is getting... Well, Botha is dropping down the order, unfortunately. So that's what was happening further back in the grid. Botha down to 13th at the moment. And we've got Shakes 4 tenths behind Stoffel. Shakes trying to get himself back up towards the podium. Round we go through Pouhon, following one car after another. It's very tight up there. Was that Wezo and Panda having a little bit of an exchange? Looks like Wezo moving up. Brad, oh no, it's J-Boy out. J-Boy down in the order. He's exited the racetrack. He's trying to rejoin safely, but he's got very little room to maneuver. He takes out one of the marker boards. Front wing is intact, but J-Boy dropping down the order, sadly. Avalak now, no buffer between himself and Brad. Avalak's tyres are operating nicely, and we've got the Williams drivers together here, Panda and Martin. Martin having got Panda. Panda almost running into the back of him as they try and navigate the corner here. Panda then has Stoffel trying to use the inside line. He won't have DRS, excuse me. But Panda, frankly, appearing to just get out of everybody's way. He's on older tyres and doesn't really want to battle with all these drivers on soft tyres or brand new mediums. Let's see how this looks from Wezo's perspective. You've got to be careful that you don't mistime your run through Eau Rouge following another car. Very easy to lose momentum, have to lift, and then that will kill your speed down the next straight. Let's look at Shakes and Stoffel. Might make a move, but still waiting on that DRS enablement. Botta and Maxstar swapping places, both on recovery drives, both affected by spins or contact. And it's Avalak from Brad and Wezo, Martin, Stoffel, Shakes, Punaki, Panda, Ricky Lau, Salzmeister, your top 10 on lap 9 of 22. Shakes is less than 2 tenths behind Stoffel still. These are important battles for the championship for Stoffel. Round spinning violently goes the Williams driver of Martin. Thankfully ghosting was on, otherwise he would have wiped out, I think it was Panda, no, it was Punaki, was it, behind Shakes here. This is a great battle to watch. Stoffel, Shakes and Punaki, front runners, all of them here in Division 2. Shakes looking a little bit slow and possibly a little bit glitchy through the middle sector of the track. Struggling for top speed slightly here. J-Boy and Martin swap places, and Shakes gets the car down safely into the bus stop. DRS has been enabled. The next time they take a detection zone, which will be around here, and it looked like that was a pit stop for Punaki. Was that a front wing change? Let's have a quick look on Punaki's car, because that was not according to plan. He's put on no new tyres? Alright, that's weird. That was a drive-through. Come on, work it out. That was a drive-through penalty that he had to serve for speeding under the safety car. Apologies, that slipped my mind. Ricky Lau goes wide, does he? I think he does. Ricky Lau loses several places there, unfortunately, down the Kemmel Straight. Salzmeister has Maxstar right behind him. Gaps open slightly at the front of the field. I think Brad is quite happy to let Avalak sit where he is. He doesn't need to push too hard right now. Interesting number of gaps opened up thanks to contact and spins and problems. Given that we're only 2 laps off the safety car, it's there's some big gaps opened up. Wezo is within a second of Brad, and they're on equal tyres. Needing to bring those tyres in pretty gently though, so it could explain a lack of pace at this stage. Just very deliberate, very gentle. First couple of racing laps on the tyres. To the bus stop they go once again. Will there be a move from Stoffel just behind them? Not quite. So we'll watch the battles in order. There's the DRS just bringing him closer in towards La Source. Away we go. Just dropping out of DRS range was Wezo there. Doesn't get the beep. So if it's going to happen, it'll be from one of the cars further back in these battles. I don't think Stoffel will quite have the overspeed, will he? Unless Shakes is running low downforce, high downforce I should say. Maxstar will definitely have the opportunity though. Here he goes, the inside of Salzmeister. Salzmeister doesn't really fight it. Maxstar runs out of ERS, but it doesn't matter. Job done into Les Comps at the end of the straight. I've got a little mini DRS train here, 3-carriage train of now Maxstar, Salzmeister and Ricky Lau. Salzmeister and Ricky both on hard tyres, both willing to play the patient game towards the end of this this stint for the drivers ahead of them, who will, most of whom will pit again or will be taking a lot of pain at the end of the race on those mediums. Avalak holds onto the lead though. He's now 10 laps deep into his run. He'll need to put on another 3 or 4 laps on those tyres before he can get rid of them. And Brad's pace is now picking up, as is Wezo's, and they're going to get closer and closer, I think, here to the back of Avalak over the course of the next couple of laps. Wezo not close enough to Brad to make a move this time. What about Botta? I don't think so. Salzmeister, Ricky Lau and Maxstar. Avalak goes in the pits now, and that's a pretty heavy stint he's asking of the soft tyres if he puts those on for the next run, but he's clearly run out of tyres. You saw the pace drop off slightly. It doesn't want to run another long lap on poor tyres, but that frees up Brad once again. So Brad back in the lead with 10 laps to go. What decision does Avalak make on the tyres? Avalak did pit, didn't he? He was definitely pitting. Did he serve a drive-through as well? Crazy. Simp says go Alpine. He's here for the Alpine of Cowboy, I think. Now what's going on with Avalak? Why did he drop down and not pit? I didn't see a drive-through on his list, but maybe he had picked up one. Let me know in the chat if you spotted why it was Avalak appeared to go in the pits and then didn't change tyres. Brad is dropping down. Brad's had a problem. Brad with an issue. Brad is slow, in fact, out of the Pouhon corner. So Brad dropping down as well. This is drama for one of the championship leaders. It's joint between Brad and Stoffel. Wezo and Shakes currently at the front of the order here. And Brad is very slow. Has he damaged the floor of the car even? This is pretty big deal. It's not a puncture on the car, is it? But super slow is Brad. We'll go back up the order though, as now Shakes and Wezo are right up there. That's a pit stop for Panda. Avalak seemingly back up to speed, must have gone off track instead of actually in the pits. He looked to exit the road course. From my perspective, I thought he was headed to the pits, but maybe just got it wrong. Well, Shakes half a second behind Wezo at the front of the grid now. 6 laps into their medium run. They are running to the end here. Wezo, Shakes and Stoffel. Brad Pitts. Brad Pitts. Oh dear. How is that the first time I've noticed that one? New tyres on the car, and again asking 9 laps of the softs is Brad and Panda. But important battle going on at the front of the grid, which we must not neglect. Wezo leading Shakes here. Penalty on Wezo's car, nothing on Shakes' car. Nothing on Brad's car either. Essitronic dropping down the order. Is he heading to the pits or has he had an off? I think he's had an off there into Lake Comp and Malmedy. Yellow flag. It's usually the giveaway. Another yellow flag in sector 2. That's one of the Haas drivers. That must be Max Star slipping back again. So the tyre wear definitely a problem here. That was 12 laps into the medium run. So that could be the time, and Ron retires. Ron has retired. Does that trigger a safety car or not? That's one of the Alfa Romeos on the exit of Stavolo 2 for Ron. That is a harsh exit. Avalak pits while there's a yellow flag flying, but no safety car called just yet. Race control tells us that Martin has picked up another penalty. Shakes has got a run here on Wezo potentially. Struggling to match the top speed of the Mercedes at this stage. Avalak comes out of the pits. The car has been recovered of Ron, so we're down to 15 drivers now. 19 started the race, and we still have what have we got? 8 laps to go. Shakes is 3/10 off the lead here. And Simp says, how is that not a safety car? Well, maybe we got it turned to reduced, which would be a smart decision from all the races I've seen through this iteration of the game. Very safety car happy. Shakes getting way too close and has picked up a penalty there. So Shakes is now, I think, on even penalties with the top 5 drivers. So Shakes with a bit of a problem run through Pouon and Lefania. Picks up yet another one, and power oversteer on the way out of Stavolo 2 will not help him in his battle to try and stay within the DRS zone of Wezo. All that hard work wasted in one sector. Picks up a penalty and manages to have a problem coming out of Stavolo. As Shakes just the characteristic inputs of a controller user. And again, no complaint from me. People who can drive on controllers at this rate and with this consistency deserve nothing but admiration, but obviously just explains why the steering wheel is moving slightly jerkily. As J-Boy got a run here on Punaki. Very different tyres. Now that Shakes has dropped out of the DRS zone temporarily, I think it could be that J-Boy has an opportunity here. Fakes a move to the inside. Punaki brakes very late. That could cost him on the exit of the bus stop here. So J-Boy gets the DRS. Will presumably not attempt an overtake into La Source. Follows closely behind. Well, that couldn't have been much closer behind Punaki if he'd have tried. Great job. Now everyone outside the DRS zone, apart from these two on track. Punaki is derating before he even gets into Eau Rouge, out onto Radion. This should be straightforward for J-Boy. Punaki goes to the inside. J-Boy delays his overtake move out of the slipstream slightly too late. Might have rubbed that rear wheel. And Simp says, controller players deserve respect and praise. That's exactly what I was giving out. And there's no reason why really racing on a wheel should give you a massive advantage other than just pleasure and enjoyment. it is about making things as equal as possible, really. So J-Boy has Punaki behind him. Brad has now caught the two of them at a rate of knots. He's on soft tyres to the end of this race. Can't afford to treat them too harshly. But Brad on the comeback here after a somewhat confusing off he suffered. This could really bring the championship back towards Stoffel. Give you a little reminder of the championship positions. Now we've had a slight and temporary slowdown in the amount of action. We've got Stoffel and Brad lead the championship on 80 points each. 60 points is Shakes. Here comes Stoffel down the outside. Punaki gives him a squeeze, and well, I wouldn't say that was just desserts, but Punaki squeezed the driver on the outside. I'm not sure where he was expecting Brad to brake, but I think Brad tremendously lucky to make it out of that one unscathed. Punaki, yeah, you'd need to leave the gap on the outside, otherwise, well, I haven't seen that happen too often, that the lead driver suffers quite so severely. Punaki down then, and having a full repair done to the car. Simps pointing out, thank you, that Shakes is close to Wezo. Am I calling that one right, guys? I'm sure the Punaki fans won't agree. Maxstar retires. Maxstar retires from the race. That's another Haas issue. That's probably issue number 4 for the Haas drivers tonight in the race. He's retired in the pits this time, though. Obviously unable to keep going, but it's Shakes on Wezo. So just as I look down to tell you all about the championship standings, that's when all the action starts going. I'll have to remember that next time a race starts to get a little bit processional. I'll just go and try and find something complicated to read, because it's all going to kick off. So this is Shakes on Wezo. Same tyres, nice fair fight between the two of them. We've escaped another another safety car thanks to Maxstar retiring in the pits. Punaki is 4th in the championship at the moment. I was going to just finishing. Shakes is on 60 points. Punaki on 57. Donovan on 55, and so on. Still waiting for a couple of drivers to score points. Shakes gets the outside line on Wezo, completes the move with quite some impressive speed, and that could pay dividends in his quest now in the middle sector to try and get away from the car behind of Wezo. They're all on equal penalties, remember. Avalak and Salzmeister might gain on Ricky's penalties, but perhaps nobody else is at this point. Brad is in 10th, 1.9 seconds away from J-Boy with 5 laps to go in the race. The middle sector, round goes Wezo. Tell me it's not true. That was a finely held 360. The second one we've seen today, but that brings Stoffel into play, into second place. Wezo losing the car on the way out of Pouhon. Must have touched that curb, unfortunately. And wow, there we go. You can never take your eyes off the screen with these FTR Division 2 boys. That was high drama from Wezo. Real shame to see him knocked out like that of the quest for the second place, but it does hand a huge advantage to Shakes here. Brad still on course. Simp says rear wing damage, surely. Well, he did seem to hit the back of the car, didn't he? It's a good call. Avalak on Ricky Lau, and they go through Blanchimont side by side. Avalak gets the job done. Must have used a bit of ERS to make that one work, but great overtake from Avalak. Is that Ricky going in the pits? No. Just, it always looks like drivers are disappearing out of view, doesn't it? Brad might have a run here on J-Boy. And Tunable says, Shakes at the front, that wasn't in the script. No, indeed. Brad has a purple final sector of the lap as he continues his pursuit now on J-Boy, and a recovery back up the order. But if he's going to make my prediction look good, he's going to have to really get a wiggle on in the last 4 laps of this race. As far as the combined division Constructors Championship goes, Ferrari lead on 248, Alfa Romeo on 2 2, 3. Shakes has got amazing pace at this stage of the race, hasn't he? And Williams are on 176, Red Bull and Mercedes the remainder of the top 5. Cowboy, a 3-second penalty for multiple track warnings, so crossing the white lines more than 3 times. Ricky Lau, similar situation. He's now got 6 on the car. So has Martin and Cowboy. A reminder of where the tyres sit at the moment. All on the same strategy at the front. Shake, Stoffel, Wezzo and Botta. Then Avalac on softs. Might well be able to get himself into range from Botta's penalty as well here. Ricky Lau in 6th place on hards, and Saltzmeister the same. Their tyres will run and run and run through the rest of this race. And Brad using the soft tyres to good effect, but he's got J-Boy in front, also on the soft tyres. Shakes lead right now, 6.8 seconds from championship co-leader Stoffel, who will presumably take the championship lead once again coming out of this race. And anybody who thought the Ferrari drivers were going to have this all their own way, sorely mistaken. It looked like complete opposite situation, with Shakes being eliminated in Q2 in 15th place starting the race. Brad on pole. Now it's completely the other way around. Shakes on for the win. Brad down in 10th, chasing hard the potential 9th place here. Let's have a quick look at Sergeant Panda passing Saltzmeister at the end of the Camel Straight, but it's all about Brad here as well for the championship, both constructors and drivers championship at stake with this move. As J-Boy and Brad come together, I think that's more to do with connection lag than any deliberate action. Just need to leave that extra little bit of space perhaps from the drivers. But great overtake from Brad, great overtake from Panda, and they're doing synchronized moves. Avalac's pace as he catches Botta here on the soft tyres against old mediums is tremendous. Avalac really on a great run. Should be on course here for a 4th place. And he's actually released by Botta. So Avalac, now his gap is 8.8 seconds to the car in front. Take 3 off that from Wezzo, though. And I don't think he's quite in range, but Wezzo might make another mistake. Anyone could make a mistake with these last 2 laps to go for the leader, because Spa has a nasty way of taking people's hopes and dreams. A bit like Monza, touch one curb like Wezzo did, and you are in the scenery. Double wave yellow, just to underline that point, is that Esitronic is turned around at the end of the Camel Straight into Les Combes. And coming up behind him then Martin, again on a bit of a recovery. It's been a dramatic race. I don't think anybody has had a straightforward qualifying and a race tonight, have they? Avalac maybe, but it's yeah, it's definitely been one of those races for every driver here in the order. Let's have a quick check on position changes. Shakes has come up 14 places. Tremendous drive, frankly, up into the lead of this race by 7.2 seconds as well. He'll be hanging on for dear life here, Will Shakes, to try and finish this race out. I hope he's turned my voice off, because I hate talking when I know drivers are listening, especially at the lead of the race. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is just Esitronic moving out of everybody's way. Maybe could have done a little bit more of that in qualifying, but he's got the hang of it now. So all the other gaps opening up a little bit, but I'm just happy to ride with Shakes for a little bit here, who is really showing the way. Avalac down 2 places, but has perhaps had the most straightforward run of anybody so far this race. Another look at the penalty situation as a Williams driver pits to try and get fastest lap, which currently lies with Avalac himself, a 45.141. And Martin gets a 5-second penalty. Is he actually giving up instead? There he is, given up. So it's now down to 13 drivers to take the final 2 laps. Shakes is away though from the rest of them. 3 seconds of penalties. Avalac nothing. Neither has Saltzmeister. Saltzmeister is definitely on course for my bid for driver of the day, I have to say, who has made up plenty of places and driven a clean race. might seem facetious, but I tend not to give drive of the day to the winner, who has already got the glory. Brad, though, got on terms here with Solsmeister because he's running the hard tyres. Solsmeister derating down the straight. So is Brad, but come on, so easy with the DRS and the tyre difference. Brad up to P8. That could be important later on in our championship, but right now it's not going to be a good haul of points for him at all. Was that a new fastest lap from somebody? Let's have a quick check. Did my eyes deceive me? Avalak 45.1 stays the same. Must have been a time penalty for somebody instead. It's hard to read the messages. Sometimes they disappear very quickly. Sergeant Panda is closing on the back of Ricky Lau as well. Ricky with those difficult hard tyres. It's going to be very, very hard to hang on here for 6th place, especially with the penalties to take into account. I think Sergeant Panda might do well just to stay behind Ricky and take the place to the line, but try telling a driver not to make an overtake. I'll wait. But there he is, 0.6 of a second behind as they go through Blanchimont. Much better tyres on the car. Could be our final overtake of the race as the final lap has begun from Shakes. He's gone through Eau Rouge. I think he survived Eau Rouge for the final time, and that's all important. And just Pouon now to really concern himself with. Comes Panda through La Source. Final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. We've had an absolute cracker, haven't we? Highly unpredictable result. No shade on Shakes, but starting 15th, I don't think even he would be expecting to firstly win the race, secondly outscore his teammate by so many points as well. Here comes Sergeant Panda, final lap overtake, great to see, and job done on Ricky. So Sergeant Panda, he was going to get that place anyway thanks to the penalty difference, but tremendous driving from so many of our drivers here tonight. Brad, I think, has stopped his ascendancy, though he should get Ricky in the end. Possibly, I'll say that, possibly even Sergeant Panda as well. He'll do his best to get up on terms. There we go then, through Blanchimont for the final time. Just the 2 corners of the bus stop to go for Shakes. What a fantastic performance from Shakes, from 15th on the grid. He takes the win by 7.4 seconds in the end over only 22 laps. Tremendous stuff from the guy who started this race, 3rd place in the championship. Stoffel takes 2nd from the lead of the championship, and then Wezo makes me 2 out of 3 in predictions for the podium, taking 3rd place. Avalak takes 4th. Great performance from him, perhaps the most straightforward night of anybody. Botta, his teammate, in 5th. Brad recovering back to 6th, but started on pole, probably won't be happy with the night overall. Sergeant Panda in 7th. Salzmeister takes 8th place after penalties, and I'm going to give him driver of the day from myself. And then we've got J-Boy, Ricky Lau, Punaki, still to cross the line actually, Punaki. Ricky Lau has been demoted to 10th thanks to those penalties. Here comes Punaki. Fastest lap still sitting with Avalak. I'm not sure anyone else is going to get it. Punaki then, and he crosses the line in 11th. And we will wait for Cowboy, who is on the lead lap, but unfortunately some distance back. Do stay tuned for us and think of some questions for Shake, Stoffel and Wezo. We hope to speak to them in the press conference at the end of the race. Yeah, if you can think of some good questions, preferably about how their race has been, and keep them clean, that'd be awesome. Cowboy crosses the line then and finishes up our race coverage. Shakes saying something in Afrikaans. I'm not sure what that was, but he gets driver of the day officially. I'm going to have to disagree and say he's got the plaudits for winning the race for Ferrari, but I'm going to go with Salzmeister overall for a similar climb up the field, but also racing without a penalty, and that's important at the end of the day. Shake sprays the champagne. Stoffel in second, and we have Wezo in third place. So I do hope to get our podium sitters in for the press conference. I hope they're on their way, and I hope that while they assemble, they will just check their party and broadcast audio settings are set to share. I see Stoffel's on his way. I saw Avalak, who is administrating this for us. Shakes is in 2. And hopefully we'll have them shortly. But I'll just take you through the order. Shakes wins the race, a 42-minute time overall, but a 14-place climb. Stoffel, head of the championship, and I think will probably have the championship lead on his own now. In second place, Wezo, good result in third. Then we have Avalak in fourth. Botta, Brad with a climb up from the back. Then seventh place, Panda. We've got Saltzmeister in 8th, J-Boy in 9th, and Ricky Lau making it into the top 10. And for some points, we've got Punaki in 11th, Cowboy in 12th, and Esitronic 1 lap down, but finished the race. Then Martin, Maxstar, Ron, Donovan, Saki Benny, and Jacques didn't make the end of the race. Jacques barely made the start of the race, actually, having said that. But as I say, we'll just have a quick look at the race director. But Shakes, congratulations, Shakes, on a tremendous race overall, and what a climb up the field.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks. It was a nice race.
Yeah. What was the key to it for you tonight?
Patience.
Nice.
Yeah. It was a nice race.
Awesome. How was the car feeling out there? Were you nervous towards the end, or were you feeling quite confident?
Yeah, after my spin in Q2 through a Rouge, I was a bit skeptical on the medium tires. So I was slowing down a bit through this section of the track. But other than that, I was feeling quite confident through the rest.
Just brilliant. Just goes to show that you never give up, and a qualifying doesn't always predict the race. But absolute topsy-turvy race for Ferrari. Were you in touch with Brad through the race at all?
Yes, we were.
Yeah?
We were communicating, yeah.
And was it Pouon that was the undoing of his race?
Excuse me?
Was it Pouon, the fast left-hander in the middle sector that caused him to have an issue?
Yeah, he just lost a bit of traction going out of the corner.
Right.
Spun.
Big shame for him, but big points for you, and great for the championship as well. So congratulations! What a tremendous performance.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I hope you enjoy watching it back. I'm sure you will.
I will. Yeah, I'm on my way to work, so I will watch it now.
Awesome. So if we'll know that sort of half the stats are led by Shakes rewatching his awesome victory. Second on the podium tonight, we have Stoffel. Stoffel, you returned to us after a week away. No rustiness there. That was a great performance as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Qualifying wasn't as good as what I expected, but happy with the result. Had not a good start, but penalties also hindered me a bit, but very happy with the result after losing out last week. So yeah, all good.
Awesome. Any dramas out there for you today on track?
No, I just think setup didn't work as well as what I would have. My tires was on 70% when I was done with the race, so I didn't have that much grip in the last couple of laps. So I saw Avilach, he gained like 2 or 3 seconds a lap on myself and Wezo. But yeah, it was a good race. Happy for the points. So yeah, now we can go to the next one.
Yeah, so you should have the lead of the championship back again. It's going to be a tough one for you though, defending from 2 teammates.
Yeah, no, look, Shakes and Brad, they're very fast. But I think the key for the rest of the season is just going to be consistency and just making sure you score as much points every race as possible.
And showing up for the races too.
Yeah, unfortunately I had family commitments last week, so I couldn't join.
No problem at all. But it's good to have you back, and congrats on the podium. Great stuff.
Thanks a lot.
Let's talk to Wezo next. I think you joined us, Wezo, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic. Well, that was a good race for you. I actually predicted a podium from yourself and from Shakes to finish that one. So I was pleased to get 2 of my predictions correct. You look like you had really good pace. I think it was Q2. and then it just didn't quite work out in Q3. What happened?
I think just the first lap I invalidated, and the second lap I just couldn't hook it up. That's it.
Yeah.
It just didn't flow so nice on Q1, Q3 than Q2, unfortunately.
Well, but you made it work in through the race. It looked like you had a little bit more action to comment on. Any trouble passing anybody or drama in front?
Not really. First stint, I think Brad had some decent pace. I couldn't really catch him, and then after the safety car, the second stint was actually quite decent. I had a nice battle with him, and then he lost it. And then I just couldn't keep Shakes out. He was rapid, and then I had a misfortune there in sector 2. I spun
Yeah.
out, and then obviously Stoffel got the position, but luckily the gap was far enough towards the rest of the pack, so at least I'm still on the podium, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it was a good recovery. Great 360 that you did. You managed to avoid any rear wing damage, though, clattering the barrier
no,
there.
unfortunately, I had a lot of rear wing damage, and
Right.
I lost a lot of drag on the straights, but at the end of the day, the result that counts is the point, so I'm happy.
Sometimes that's a good thing in Spa, to trim out the rear wing, so it's perhaps not an exact way of doing it, but you managed it nonetheless.
Yeah, no, definitely, and thanks for the commentating and the streaming. We appreciate it.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. Simp says in the live chat, Shakes finally had some patience. So I don't know if there's an in-joke there at all, but I know Simp is...
Definitely.
Yeah, but well done from Shakes. He deserves the win. He had just more pace than me. Definitely deserves the win.
Well, tremendous stuff. Great to talk to you all as well. And I'll wrap things up now. Thank you to everyone who has taken part in the live chat today. If you're watching back, make sure you've liked the video and you've subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any more racing. We've got the Premier Division coming up this week, and then same time next week for Division 2. I'm sure you won't want to miss it after a special one we just witnessed today. I've been Webbo for the Full Throttle Racing Division 2 Round 5. You can follow me on Twitter at WebboRed5 and on Discord and YouTube and most everywhere else. But from all of us involved, we thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you on the next race day.